To continue the discussion, let's proceed to section 19, wherein special hardship allowances of a teacher. So, in the areas in which teachers are exposed to hardships such as difficulty in communicating to the place where they are working, there must be a hazard peculiar to the place of employment, as determined by the Secretary of Education. Well, of course, the teacher have their hardship allowances because in the field or the employment of their work, we don't know if there are hazardous peculiar, right? So, the Secretary of Education determined this for them to have a allowances to their daily cost and so on. Next is section 20, salaries to be paid in legal tender. So salaries of teachers shall be paid in legal tender of the Philippines or its equivalent to checks or treasury warrants. So the meaning of legal tender is that the banknotes that must be accepted if offered in payment of the debt. So obviously, the teacher must receive their salaries in legal. So it should not be legal because it might cost a case. Section 21, deduction prohibited. So no person shall make any deduction and whatsoever form from the salaries of a teacher except under specific authority of law authorizing such deductions. So if ever the salary of a teacher wherein not be deducted except there is an authorization of that. Say for example, if there will be a deductions of the salaries of the teacher, it could be their health or the taxes, something like that. The next following section is emphasizes the health measures and injury benefits. So section 22 is a medical examination on treatment. So for teachers, it is compulsory medical examination and shall be provided free of charge. So it's good to know, right? So for all teachers, before they take up their teaching or before they are employed to their field, it must be undergo with the medical examination to be repeated not less than once a year. In section 23, compensation for injuries. So teachers shall be protected against the consequences of employment. So that means if a teacher assigned to the far-flung areas or it could be in danger or they are injured, so they are having compensation, right? So all the consequences that are going to happen, so as long as they are injured, they have a compensation. Section 24 highlights the study leave. So usually it happens for a public schools teachers, right? So it is not exceeding one school year may be granted for them teachers who have rendered at least 7 years of service. Somehow it could be their privileges and enjoy the teachers when they are having this study leave. Section 25 is indefinite leave. So this is different from study leave from section 24. So indefinite leave is a sick leave or the leave of absence shall be granted for teachers. So if they are sick or they are not feeling well, it could be granted for them. So the illness demands as long as treatment that will exist. So walang taning ito. And section 26 is salary increase retirement. So if you are a retired teacher, you will receive a 1 million pesos, but the age is required to retired is 65 years old. But in 56 years old, you can also retire, but the salary you will receive or the retirement fee is different from the retirement fee of the regular ages that you are going to retire. And Section 27 is freedom to organize. So, public school teachers shall have the right to freely and without previous authorization votes established to join organizations of their choosing, whether local or national, to further and defend their interests. So, it's depend on you as a teacher if you have this interest of this organization. If you are fit to that kind of organization, so you are free to organize without the authorization. And Section 28, discriminations against teacher prohibited. So the rights to establish immediately preceding section shall be exercised without any interference or coercion. So this discrimination is when a teacher is treated disfavorably, or when you are violated person's dignity. So this can't be good, right? So all teachers has the right, and they must be respected also as we respect others, right? And Section 29, the National Teachers Organization is consulted in the formulation of national educational policies. Of course, there are certain standards that needed to follow, such as policies and rules of these teachers. And Section 30, as I mentioned earlier, there is a role and regulation that is necessary to implement the provision of this act. Section 31 is a budgetary estimate. So, the Secretary of Education will submit to the Congress of annually the necessary budgetary estimates, a forecast of capital needed for project or activities or a program. Section 32 is the penal provision. So, whoever willfully interfere with this, restrain or coerce any teacher in the exercise of rights guaranteed by this act, shall other manner or commit any act who are against or defeated of this act and this provision, um, upon conviction be there will be a punishment. So they are punished if they are defeated this act, or they are fined not less than 100 pesos or nor more than 100 pesos, or either they can be imprisonment or discretions of the court. In Section 32 is repealing clause. All acts or parts of acts, executive orders, and their implementing rules inconsistent is need to be repealed, because that is not included in this all acts or part of acts. So that could be hereby repealed, amended, or modified accordingly. And Section 34 is the separability clause. So it is a any provision of this act declared invalid, the remainder of this act or any provision is not affected thereby shall remain in force and effect. So if there are valid that is being declared, but there are also valid that could be remain as an effect. So it is discussed Republic Act 6713. So I hope you've learned something, and thank you for listening.